Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Galatians 6.2 podcast where compassion meets conversation. I am one of your hosts, Chriselle Elms.
And I'm your other host, Joanne Javelle. Hi, everyone.
Hi. We are excited to share. Today, we are talking all things incarceration and mental health. So, this guest, who is a dear friend to both Joanne and I, spent a little over 11 years incarcerated. It began early, about 12 years old, when he started getting into trouble. His first arrest was in third grade. Today, he is grateful to have overcome that dark time and have since moved on to help others overcome the same obstacles. He is currently a leader of the Elevation Melbourne Prison Ministry. He is also a leader of the Elevation Melbourne Connection team. As far as work goes, he is a co-owner of Berghorn and Son Handyman, as well as sole owner of Tailored Tyranny Clothing. Above all things, he values relationships and the positive perspective he is able to leave with those he gets to interact with on a weekly basis. He has an incredible wife. They have 8 children together, 5 of whom they currently raise. It's a big family with a lot of love. Ladies and gentlemen, meet our guest, Mr. Andrew Berghorn. Thank you so much for joining us, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
So this is a 2-part question. The first part, as much as you are comfortable sharing, part 1, how long were you incarcerated?
I was incarcerated a little over 11 years in total, throughout the entire state of Florida, a little bit as a juvenile, and 9 years in total in the Florida correctional institutions, so adult prison system.
Wow. Okay. And then what circumstances led to your incarceration?
When I think back on it, I was diagnosed with bipolar at a young age, and I didn't have the coping mechanisms in place at the time. Sorry. But I didn't have those mechanisms in place at the time, and that, if you don't know what bipolar is, when you're high, when you're feeling good, you are feeling on top of the world. When you're feeling low, you are feeling lower than anybody could feel.
So let me ask you, since we do discuss mental health, what was your personal experience with mental health while you were incarcerated?
Um, I saw mental health from a multitude of perspectives. So I've seen people use the mental health system to lessen their charges or get off charges completely. Uh, and I've seen people who are on the edge. I've seen people who have completely lost their wits. So I got to see all that from a broad perspective. And I also have been in solitary confinements for 60 to 90 days. So I felt personally what that feels like to be completely cut off and disconnected.
Yeah.
You were listening to our stats before you came out. What do you think of that?
I think it makes sense.
You're speaking about what you saw. How about those people who do come in already self-diagnosed? Not self-diagnosed. Never self-diagnosed. Remember, I said that. Who come in with a diagnosis of some type of mental health challenge? Prison doctors, do they review the case? Are they allowed to come in with their own diagnoses? Like, how does that work? Come in.
You can come in with your own diagnosis. But again, a prison doctor will have to review that. And it's a real tight and strict template he's going by to compare and contrast your information. If you have a really great doctor, if you have the resources and the family members who are willing to go out and get that information and email it to a particular prison, to a particular fax machine, it might help your situation a little bit. A lot of people don't have those resources.
This is another 2-part question. First part is, what did your faith look like while you were incarcerated?
I had no faith while I was incarcerated. No sense of wanting to be around or involved with any type of belief system. In opposition of that, I was an atheist before I gave my life to Christ. So I did not believe in anything. I thought it was all on what you did and all on what the world dished out at you.
Would you say that there was a specific moment that defined your faith?
Definitely. So when I got out, I was trying to put life together in my own strength, in my own way. And about a year and a half into that, I began to realize that I just did not have what it took to be a productive member of society. I didn't have the strength. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the mindset or the focus to make anything that I wanted to happen or come to fruition. And at that point, it was either um, check myself into a mental health institution, and I had no idea what that would look like. It didn't seem to look very good from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
And stigmas come along with that, or take my own life. And in the course of trying to take my own life, I made a call to my father. Well, my father actually called me. Sorry. My father called me in the course of me trying to take my own life. And I got this call out of nowhere. I was all alone to myself. And I picked up the phone, and he usually doesn't even bother asking me anything like this. But he was like, I don't know what told me to call you, but I wanted to ask you if you wanted to come to church with us tomorrow. And I said yes. And I put the gun down. I went to church with my father the next day. I gave my life to Christ, and God has transformed every area of my life since then.
Let me ask you, Andrew, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, what was the transition like from incarceration?
The transition was tough, extremely tough. Prison is based on survival. It's anxiety ridden, survival based mentality. So to go from that to trying to build one's life is an extremely hard transition. And then not having all the resources in place that I needed, and stepping back into the rat race, so to speak. You have to pay bills. Bills are still due. I still had children at the time. So trying to provide for them and do the right things by everyone was just, I felt extremely stretched thin.
I think, in your opinion, having the resources maybe kind of set up before actually entering society
Definitely.
would have been
Definitely. Or just having somebody to talk to about it and
Yeah.
go over things with it.
Yeah.
Are these moves that maybe I can make? You know what I mean? Is this something I can think about? Is going back to school something I can think about? Is a career in this something I can think about, or is it beyond my grasp from where I'm at? Having somebody to go over that with is something I get to do today. So thank
sounds like
God.
some type of mentorship program.
Yeah. Yeah. What role does your faith play in your life today?
Definitely the central role in my life today. Um, I love my family. I love my wife. I love my children. But God is the first thing I put my face towards when I wake up, and my last good night is the central role in my life. Everything filters through God.
Yeah.
Everything filters through that.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for
Bye.
watching.